Do you know that feeling of nervousness that hits you right before you're about to step on stage? Your heart starts racing, your hands get shaky, and your mouth goes dry. And you start questioning everything. Did I prepare enough? Will they like what I have to say? Is the mic even on? What if I forget a line? And the more of those thoughts you have, the stronger your nerves get. And that's because nervousness doesn't come from one big thing, it comes from hundreds of small things. Things you didn't check beforehand, things you didn't practice enough, things you are not completely sure about. Those are what I call nervousness multipliers. It is a concept that I teach every single person that I coach, from quiet creators to founders, and it's one of the simplest ways to strip away up to 99% of your stage nerves before you even step into the room. Because nerves are normal, but the things that multiply them, those are optional. So let's break them down one by one. When people feel nervous before speaking, they often think that nerves are the actual problem. But nerves are not the enemy. Everyone gets them. What actually makes nerves unbearable are all the little uncertainties that multiply them. A nervousness multiplier is anything you're not sure about before you step on stage, or even before a normal conversation. Every single uncertainty adds fuel to your nerves. On stage, it might be your script, your slides, your pacing, or even your outfit. In everyday life, it might be things like whether you're making eye contact, how your voice sounds, or if you're explaining your thoughts clearly, if you're understandable. That's why the goal of preparation isn't just memorization. It is actually about removing the small uncertainties that make you second guess yourself. Because what it's all about is this. The only variable you cannot remove is the audience, the person in front of you, the manager, the thousands of people you have sitting in the room in front of you right now. They'll always be there, but everything else, your script, your setup, your pacing, your tone, your rhythm, your body language, all of that is within your control. So the formula is very simple. Nerves are normal, but multipliers, they're optional. Everyone gets nerves, but the more multipliers you allow to show up, the heavier those nerves will feel. So your goal should not be to remove nerves, because that will not happen. It is to actually reduce the multipliers that make those nerves feel unbearable. Now let's go through the main 5 that I see all the time, where number 1 is content uncertainty. This is when you're not fully sure about what you're actually saying. You may not have your point completely clear. You may not even understand what you're talking about to the absolute fullest. Maybe you memorized your script, but you can't explain it naturally. So the second you forget one word, everything falls apart. Memorizing and knowing your script to the fullest is a key part of making sure you're delivering on stage, but also actually understanding the concept you're talking about to the absolute fullest. Because that gives you a backup plan if you suddenly happen to freeze or forget your script in the actual moment. If you know the concept, if you know what you're talking about, you always have something in your head to bring out if push comes to shove. Now, content uncertainty is about practicing your script and practicing every line until you can talk about them in your sleep. Number 2 is delivery doubt. You're unsure how your tone, your gestures, or your pacing comes across. You might even be thinking mid-sentence, do I sound awkward right now? Am I too quiet? The fix is very easy. Instead of rehearsing in your head, rehearse out loud. You're going to record yourself. You're going to practice relentlessly. Get familiar with how you actually sound. Because confidence isn't about hoping you look confident. It is actually about being confident internally. Confidence is not something you just happen to see. You're fine. You feel it on the inside too. And you become confident in your delivery when you understand what your delivery looks like and improve upon it. And then practice it. And practice it even more. And practice it even more. Number 3 is preparation gaps. This one is huge and goes into number 2, delivery doubt. Now, what most people do when they prepare for a presentation or a meeting is that they just do it silently. As I said, reading their notes in their head, and then their first actual full run-through happens on stage. And that is what I call gambling. That you'll deliver with certainty or perfection, even if you haven't practiced. Real preparation means practicing the way you'll actually deliver it. Standing up, speaking out loud, getting your body used to it. Practicing the punctuation, the commas, knowing when you're going to pause, when you're going to breathe, when the audience should be clapping. Getting all of those things lined up so nothing comes as a surprise when you actually stepping on stage is key. Number 4 is environmental unknowns. So mic setup, room size, audience layout. These things may seem small until they catch you completely off guard. Maybe the room is tilted. Maybe you have more people on one side than the other. What happens if you're standing there in the middle of the presentation and the mic turns off? Or the presentation disappears from the screen behind you? What would you do then? What's your plan B? Having plan Bs and Cs and Ds and all the way to C will help you be prepared for every single scenario that could go wrong. Every piece of certainty you add removes one multiplier. If you're uncertain whether the mic will work the whole time, practice talking louder so the people in the back will hear you even if your mic is off. If the mic dies, be comfortable enough to project without it. If your slides disappear, make sure you can still talk without them. Use them only as support and not as crutches. And number 5 is self-image pressure. And this one might be the hardest one. It's the worry about how you look, how you sound, or being judged. You're looking at yourself. You start obsessing about your hands, your posture, your voice, your fidgeting and your nerves. And now you are so focused on yourself instead of actually presenting your message. But here's what's so ironic. Your audience isn't paying attention to those small things that you're doing wrong. They are paying attention to how you make them feel. If you're engaging, the second you focus on them instead of yourself, your presence instantly improves. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, how do you actually use this? How do you actually apply this in real life? The first step is spot your multipliers. You have to do a full risk assessment before you step on stage. What could go wrong? What could make you feel nervous? What could happen with the technical setup, with your hair, with your outfit? And then set up plans for it. How can you prepare so it doesn't happen in the first place, but how can you actually set up plan Bs if it does? Step number 2, remove or reduce them one at a time. Maybe it's a tech check. Maybe it's one more run through so you know for certain that you have your script fully memorized. Maybe it's rehearsing that one slide a bit more that always throws you off, so everything fits perfectly. Number 3 is reframe the nerves that remain as normal energy. Because that's all it is. Energy your body gives you to perform and focus. Nerves are a good thing. Nerves are what makes you human and helps you actually focus. If you're not nervous, there's something wrong with you. Everyone feels it. The difference is what you do with it. The best speakers out there know how to turn that nervousness into focus, into performance. Inexperienced speakers let it take over. And you can use this literally everywhere. In meetings, networking, conversations, even filming videos like this. The more nervousness multipliers you remove, the more present and powerful you will feel. An example of this could be your body. A lot of people often talk about how being comfortable in your own body changes everything. That doesn't mean becoming extremely fit. It just means being comfortable with the way you look. If you have a bit of a stomach, be comfortable, accept it. If you're not comfortable with it, then maybe you should consider going to the gym and eating a bit less. Because if you get rid of it, you've now removed one multiplier. Now, is it necessary for stepping on stage to get rid of your stomach? Of course not. But if you want to become confident and comfortable in your own skin, actually doing the work might be the process that helps you achieve exactly that. If you don't like your hairstyle, get one you feel confident with. Because every small insecurity is another multiplier. But the more multipliers you remove, the more present and powerful you will feel in the exact moment, the more confident you will become. Now here's the truth. Even if you remove every single multiplier, every single one, the perfect outfit, the perfect hair, you've rehearsed relentlessly, the tech is flawless, one will always remain, the audience. And that's normal. Because when you've got hundreds or thousands of people watching you, it is impossible not to feel something. Maybe that nervousness never fully disappears, but it does change. The key is to shift your mindset. Instead of thinking they are there to judge you, remind yourself that they're actually there because they want to learn from you. Most people think they need to prove something to the audience, that every word has to be perfect, every moment has to be flawless. But that's not what the audience wants. They're not looking for that. They're not there hoping you'll mess up. They're hoping you'll teach them something worth remembering. If you stumble on stage, it doesn't make you look weak or uncertain. It makes you look real. Now, authenticity isn't destroyed by imperfection. It's revealed by being you. So stop performing for approval and start communicating for actual connection. Because that is what this is all about. When it comes to it, actually stepping on stage, being comfortable with everything you could possibly have done before you stepped on it is the key to powerful public speaking. All the nerves you are feeling right now as you're about to step on stage is completely fine, but just know that you've done everything in your power to remove every single nervousness multiplier and focus on the audience instead. Because they are not there to judge you. They are there because they want to listen to what you have to say. They want to hear your message. They want to understand what you are so passionate about that you are actually stepping on stage to talk about it. So do the work, rehearse relentlessly, focus on yourself, become confident in your own skin, because only then will you become so confident that the only nervousness multiplier you have is the audience. And remember, that is one we cannot remove. The audience will always be there, whether you are just talking to one partner, or your manager, or your colleague, or an actual audience of 1,000 people. That person, those people, will always be there. So the only thing you can do is be so incredibly comfortable with your preparation that the audience is the only thing left. Now, becoming comfortable with the audience and becoming less and less nervous with that comes through actual experience, becoming familiar with the situation of actually stepping on stage. But until then, the only thing you can do is get rid of the nervousness multipliers. And if you like this type of content, subscribe for weekly videos that help you speak clearly, confidently, and connect deeply. See you in the next video. Bye bye.